computer I built, I think now 14 years ago, and it's running fine on 10. And then I have a newer desktop that is very, very fast, and it runs 10. It'll run 10 very fast, and I can see no reason to upgrade to 11 in terms of buying a new machine. So thank you for the advice.
Yeah. Go ahead, Elaine.
Hi, well, you have Bob on the line there. Hi, Bob.
Hello.
I got a message pop up purportedly from Avast, but suspicious, paranoid, whatever I am. It says Avast msmpeng.exe is trying to access your login information in Firefox. Is that from Avast, and do I want to let it log into my login information, ID and password?
Do you want Avast to protect what you do within Firefox? Then you have to allow Avast access.
It didn't even, okay.
Okay.
It doesn't
Now,
really say.
Is this an actual pop-up from Avast?
That's part of my question. How do I know?
Can you share your screen?
No,
Ron,
I don't have it on my screen now.
Oh,
I denied it. And
If-
then I went to look at what is MP dot, whatever it is, msmpeng.exe, and it says that it is a Microsoft
Microsoft
anti-malware.
Engine. Yep. You also have part of Microsoft that watches what you do on the internet. It was just recently added. You may have installed it and it's now wanting to do its job, and you just told it thanks, but no thanks.
How do I tell it? Thank you, maybe it's okay. I'm just, like I say, I'm paranoid. I realize that, but I'm so suspicious of anything that comes as a result of a pop-up that I don't just automatically
Right.
say, sure, take it.
If you get the
But
pop-up
Jason, sorry.
again, can you send it to me?
Okay.
Bob3160@gmail.com.
Is it likely to pop up again, do you think? Do they usually repeat these every once in a while if you say no?
Yes, because you have that part of Microsoft installed.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jim's got his hand up.
Go ahead, Jim.
You're muted, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Hey, loud and clear, and you're looking great.
The question was, I'm running the Avast secure browser. And because I've got Avast on the machine, I keep getting pop-ups. You know, we got a special deal, 2 years special. You really need to do this and that, and what have you. And is there any way of stopping those ads?
Go into your settings, go under privacy, and turn off everything except the very first item. And that's to allow Avast to get the information should you get infected. Everything else on sharing information, turn it off.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody new here? Mike, do you want to say something?
Yes, I was just going to say it's very easy these days to lessen your security and get very complacent. My sister called me over the weekend and they had been talking to Microsoft in quotes for 30 minutes, who had gotten on their computer and resolved to a pop-up. This is kind of in response to the comment about getting pop-ups. And it was a classic hack job by some group in India somewhere, you know. We're passing you off to our supervisor who's going to give you level 3 support, et cetera. Please just sit back while we investigate your computer. All the classic stuff. If you go on YouTube, and you can see all kinds of videos on what actually takes place. And they're very intelligent people. They are seniors like me. And they get advice from me all the time, you know, don't click on links and don't accept pop-ups and all the rest of that. But I said, go over and unplug your computer. And my brother-in-law said, no, Microsoft's connected. I don't want to unplug my computer. I said to my sister, unplug his computer, period. Unplug it now. And I could hear the argument going on in the back as they eventually unplugged it. And then their phone started ringing because they had been talking to them on the phone too. And I said, don't answer the phone. Don't talk to them. I mean, it's still going on, folks.
Yeah.
So if you get a pop-up from Microsoft, it ain't from Microsoft. Yeah.
There's also telemarketers phoning. And,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
they're doing that, trying to get you to call and all that sort of stuff. Mike, so just let everyone know, Mike will be doing his segment today on solar energy. If you have any questions now for him regarding solar, any of the shows that we've done or upcoming shows, or any questions, this is also a good time. He'll be in the Q&A, but also a good time now to ask him if you want. So if you have any solar energy questions, that we were talking about that earlier today about putting electricity back into the grid, which is, Mike, you said there was 90,000 people now in Florida that have solar.
I believe the figure was 90,000 installations.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Are they actually making the panels in Florida now?
There are some solar companies in Florida making the panels, but keep in mind that the vast majority of the components in the panels still comes from overseas.
Right. Go ahead, Greg.
So Mike, on your presentation, which I've enjoyed, I would like to see if you would talk about all of the support structure, the hookups, and their cost relativity to the panels themselves and the installation of it before the panels go up. Just a suggestion. Good job.
Sure. Yeah, we started off and I got more or less of a 10-minute allocation. So I knew this was going to be multi-part. And I've been kidding Ron saying, well, when I get up to part 26, we may talk about government intervention. So, I mean, I'm happy to do this, you know, every couple of weeks whenever Ron needs to fill a spot, because there's so much information out there on this. And certainly we will get, you know, once we get over the general broad view of how to go about acquiring it, we may talk about like the individual components, what makes a solar panel work, you know, what's the infrastructure hookup. And I've got pictures of my own installation going up showing the rack installation, and you know, the types of racks that are out there, all the gory details, you know, and if it bores too many people, we'll knock it off for a month or so and then maybe come back and do something.
Mike, didn't you do something with when you had a guy come in and you were checking your yard and checking things? Didn't you do a video on that, or was it a series of photos? I can't remember.
I've got a bunch of photos in a Google Photos album that I can go through that shows my entire installation from start to finish. That could easily be a separate, you know, presentation. Okay, here's what we did. This is how we did it.
Go ahead, Bill.
Mike, I'm assuming that you have a whole home installation.
Yes. Mhm.
So when you did the upgrade, what was that about?
Money, very simple. One of the first guys that came to my house to give me an estimate, by the time we were done, it was 45 grand. And I said, nope, ain't going to do that, you know. And about later that time, I found out about solar co-ops. That'll be something that I mentioned in my presentations, which can get you 20% off. And even after that, when the winner of the co-op bidding process actually came to my home, he wanted me to spend $38,000. And I said, nope, not going to do that either. I said, what can you do for 15? So we did this in phases. We did about half of it in the first phase for about 15 grand. And then 2 years later, there was another solar co-op and another bidding process. And we did the other half for about 12 grand. So I saved a considerable amount by using the co-op process, and I saved a considerable amount by not doing everything all at once.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah.
Yes, I was kind of curious about the advantage of having it on the ground rather than on the roof. Is there any opinion on that when you have to clean it and stuff like that?
I do remember that question on one of the previous sessions, and yes, there are some advantages if you've got the space, either a rural or, you know, a large subdivision where you've got lots of ground space and it's open and not a lot of trees blocking it. And there are rack installed systems, YouTube videos on it too. There's one that I saw very detailed, about a half-hour video where a guy started literally from the planning phase to the final production phase, showing it going up, all the equipment he put in, running the wires to the house, the whole bit. So sure, I don't have the space where I could put a rack in my yard, but in some cases, especially with some of the mechanical racks, that can actually follow the sun and make your rack mounted system more efficient. It'll actually rotate the azimuth as the day goes on and let you, follow the sun.
Carl, go ahead.
We just watched a
Yeah, I just want to give you an update on my Galaxy 2 watch. It came during last Monday's meeting.
Yeah, tell me it was a new watch. They didn't fix it, did they?
Here's the bill for the repair. It's $70.31.
Yeah.
And the part they replaced was this that goes on the back of the watch.
Oh, really?
I did not send them this part. When I was racing at Waterford all day a few weeks ago, this came off of my watch and it fell on the floor inside my car. I didn't find it till much later. So I sent them the watch without this, but it came back with this on it and it works fine. Actually, it seems to be counting my steps, or I'm walking faster. I don't know what.
But Carl, how do you know it's not a new watch?
Oh, because the bezel is scratched.
Oh, and you knew that.
In the same band that, after some point you could tell it's not a new band.
All right.
Yeah, it's the same bezel.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're right. I wouldn't know. I looked at it closely. Actually, I was disappointed. I was hoping your comment was going to come true.
I never heard of that.
I'm a little unhappy that you raised my hopes. Actually,
no, we've had a couple of Fitbit watches that have bit the dust, and we send them back and they don't repair them. They just send a new one. So I can't imagine in today's technology, since those watches probably cost $10 to make, how they would ever repair one. Like it just, anyway. Okay, well, you did.
Well, they charge $50 to evaluate it, and they described it as cosmetic. But this disc, I think, is what connects between the magnet and the charging system in the watch, because it's got rings around it like a coil.
Okay,
And
all right.
So that's all I can say.
Good. Well, I'm glad you let us know. Thanks a lot. I learned something. Jim, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a company in the US, particularly in California, that's called You Break It, We Fix It.
Right.
And
do they do watches? I don't think they do watches, do they?
yeah, well, I don't know. I gotta say I don't know about watches. They did my phone.
Well, yeah, I know that. They do phones.
They do phones, tablets, computers, laptops.
And they were really reasonable and fast.
And their name is about to change from You Break, I Fix to Assurian.
Oh, Assurian's going to take them over?
No, Assurian owns them. Has for some time. And they're now going to use the corporate name instead of the catchy You Break, I Fix. It was a corporate decision. Don't ask me why. It don't make sense to me.
Of course,
Ooh,
All right, we've got to get going. We got a show to do
Yeah.
here today, guys. We
Yeah.
got to get going. So I'm going to mute everybody and get on with the show. Good morning. It is Tech for Senior. It is July 25th. It is episode 122. Wow. There we go. 122, Hewie. So
And growing.
and growing and growing. I'm already thinking about season 4. So anyway, life goes on. It is a hot, sunny day here in Comox on the West Coast. I expect all our West Coast friends will be having the same weather, but we have pretty hot weather coming. I may even have to turn on the air conditioning today. So we want to thank everyone for coming and being here today. I always say we get our enthusiasm off of your viewing. So the fact that there are 73 people here today on a hot July weekday in July is great. We really appreciate that. So thank you so much for coming. It is a lot of work making the videos and creating them, but we have a lot of fun doing that, and we know you appreciate it. So we enjoy it. We also have a show on Thursday, which is very, very popular now and growing greatly, and that is our Tech for Senior Live. And Greg had mentioned that earlier. He wants to come and listen, and I would encourage you to do so. It is broadcast not on Zoom, though, so don't come to our Zoom meeting. We see lots of people trying to log in on Thursday morning in Zoom because I get emails from everybody trying to log in, and nobody's there. It's not a Zoom meeting. We broadcast it through StreamYard, and it goes out to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And there's a big red button on our web page, and you just click that, and it will take you to the correct place. So, and if you have problems with that, just let me know. And then we take that and we podcast that out to on Friday. So we actually have a podcast as well. And this week, Hewie, what are we doing this week?
We're going to learn about Chromebooks.
We are. Yes, we are indeed. So learning Chromebooks will be an hour after our Tech for Senior live session, right?
Right. And you have to be registered for it. But if you are registered, you don't have to re-register.
Right. So it should be lots of fun. We're going to have a good time. We've been doing that for about 2 years now. So come and enjoy. If you have a Chromebook, you're thinking about a Chromebook, their format's changed a bit this month. We're actually going to go over some Chromebook news, and we're going to actually do some news reviews of recent articles about Chromebooks as well, trying to give a more current view of what's happening with Chromebooks. Should be fun. We'll see how it works out. What do you think, Hewie?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good, and Bob will be there, I'm sure, and we'll have a good talk, and it should be a lot of fun. Our premier service today, I put the link in the chat, and I'll put it again, is going to be, I'm going to start it out with personal air conditioners. Now, this is a I guess it's a hot topic. That's a bad way to put it, but it is pretty hot out there. So you might want to watch this. Now, and then of course, and I'll come back to that in just a second. And of course, Dewey Kloos, who's here today, where he's going to be part of the show as well. And Dewey is going to talk on sleep trackers, and Hewie is going to talk on Drive for desktop. And this is the change that occurred last year. And Greg, that message that you had popping up last week, and we talked a bit about that. This would be a good video for you to watch because it explains the whole situation and how and what's happening. So those are the three things that will be on our premiere service. Now, when I go to make these up, I always wonder how people will enjoy them. And I often ask Bob on what he thinks of the movies or the shows that we're going to do. So I want you to watch this. This is a little video clip on what Bob thinks of this, of our personal air conditioner video today. So just let me show you this. And this is Bob's opinion of my video.
And confirmed at our traditional crab dinner that evening.
This production was done by Back End Technology, Ron Brown and Steve Jordan. There you go.
Wow.
That stinks.
I am dreaming of envy.
There you go. I told you.
Oh, wow.
So you won't want to miss that one. It's a stinker, right, Bob?
Agree with you totally.
So that'll be on the the first video, and then the second two will follow that. So you won't want to miss that on our premiere service. Let's see how things are. I don't have a lot else to say. Hewie, how'd your week go? What's going on? You're getting ready for our big learning Chromebooks?
Yeah, we'll be sending out a reminder today with the link that you need. It's a unique link that because you're registered. If you don't get one, that means you're probably not registered and you need to do so. And you can get that link for the registration at the www.techforsenior.com, and make sure you're registered for it. And you'll get another reminder probably Wednesday evening, again with the link for Thursday. And so all you have to do is click on the link and it'll get you right into the meeting.
Great. Bob, how are you doing this week?
Fine. Trying to make sure I don't sweat to death. You
Yeah,
aren't the only one that's hot. We've been hovering around the 100 mark.
Wow. And Ray, where the heck did Ray go? Oh, there you are. Ray's just under me.
I'm here. I'm doing fine. It's even been hot in the mountains in the mid 90s, but right now it's 78. And the forecast this week is our monsoons every afternoon. So
rain.
Yep.
And Bill in Oklahoma, hey, you haven't had any hurricanes or anything bad going on there?
No, just the heat, Ron. We're just, it's been hovering around 100 degrees almost a week or more. So
Right.
It's pretty hot.
Now, gadgets, do you have a personal air conditioner?
No, but I thought about that. So I'm going to have to change my my gadget for this week.
All right. Well, you watch the video. You got to watch the video if you don't.
I'm going to watch the video. Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of cool. And Dewey, you're going to your is that your daughter's cabin? You're going to go. You're having a big reunion?
Yes. Every year we have a close family reunion. There's about 15, 16 of us, and we gather from Wednesday through Sunday and have a great time at their so-called cabin, which is a 6,000 square foot home.
That's a cabin? That's bigger than my house.
So
there you go. All right. Well, we'll be talking more later. And then Mike Ungerman here, of course, and we're going to be talking about solar energy today, which is a good topic to be talking about today. Is it a solar day?
On hot sunny days, yes.
Yeah. Is it a solar day? I guess every day is a solar day in Florida, right?
Most days right now, at least until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon when the rains come.
Great. Okay. Good. Well, we're all ready to go. Bob, can you take it away?
I sure can. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending July 22nd, 2022. Google ditches the app permission list from its Play Store. The permissions list in the Play Store has been replaced with a data safety section, providing users with information on the app's data collection and processing practices. Google has sped up the rollout of the data safety feature for Android apps on the Play Store. While announced in April, the feature appears to have completely replaced the app permissions list. The permissions list provided users with information on what app developers can do with their devices. The information was particularly useful for researchers looking into whether Android users don't consent to dangerous permissions. Read the whole story at Cyber News. Before we continue, Google has already reversed its decision and it has reinstated that item that they decided to remove. Cloudflare has named the botnet behind record-breaking DDoS attack. Cloudflare says that Mantis botnet is responsible for the 26 million requested per second HTTPS DDoS attack, the largest on record. Cloudflare claims the largest distributed denial of service attack was the work of a botnet the company dubbed Mantis. The name alludes to a mantis shrimp, a small yet powerful crustacean. Similarly, the Mantis bot operates a small fleet of approximately 5,000 bots, but with them can generate a massive force, responsible for the largest HTTP DDoS attacks we have ever observed, Cloudflare says. According to the company, a few thousand bots generating 26 million HTTPS requests per second is an astounding capability given the relatively small size of the botnet. Moreover, the attack was carried over HTTPS. See more at Cyber News. Metaverse fears, scams, and detachment from reality. The excitement accompanying the metaverse goes hand in hand with serious concerns. How can we ensure it's safe, and how do we not lose ourselves in the digital realm? Projected to be a 760 billion business by 2026, the metaverse is dominating all conversations through a variety of questions it poses. In a survey of over 1,000 U.S. Americans, CouponFollow identified key shopping trends as well as worries and hopes that come along with entering the metaverse. When it comes to fears associated with the metaverse, scams take the lead, 52%, followed by identity theft, 39%, and privacy issues at 38%. Not far from the top three stands a quite interestingly worry cited as detachment from reality, with people concerned about the prospect of fully losing themselves in the digital world. See more at Cyber News. Ex-CIA hacker convicted of WikiLeaks data crime. A former CIA designer of hacking tools has been found guilty of leaking thousands of confidential files by a federal court in New York, 2 years after the original case against him was dropped. Joshua Schulte, 33, said by prosecutors to be a disgruntled employee bearing a grudge, sent the agency's most highly prized hacking toolkit, known as Vault 7, to WikiLeaks, whose founder, Julian Assange, faces extradition to the U.S. The 2017 incident, which saw 8,761 documents leaked, was regarded by the CIA as one of the worst losses of classified information ever in its history. On July 13th, a new jury convicted Schulte of 8 charges of espionage, each of which carries a sentence of up to 10 years. Schulte was aware that the collateral damage of his retribution could pose an extraordinary threat to the nation if made public, said U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, adding that his exposure of the hacking tools rendered them essentially useless. Read more at Cyber News. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and get involved. Microsoft Teams settings leave government officials open to cyber attacks. Relying on default settings on Microsoft Teams leaves users open to threats from external domains. Misconfiguration can prove perilous to high-value targets. Microsoft Teams has over 270 million active monthly users, with government institutions using the software in the US, UK, Netherlands, Germany, Lithuania, and other countries at varying levels. Cybersecurity researcher Darius Povolitis has discovered that relying on the default MS Teams settings can leave high-value users vulnerable to social engineering attacks. Attackers could create group chats with state officials masquerading as their bosses and observing whether they are online. We saw that attack could rather convincingly impersonate a high-ranking state official and possibly strike up a conversation, fooling victims into believing they are discussing sensitive topics with a superior. Skilled attackers could do a lot of harm with this capability, Povolitis told Cyber News. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Next, we're going to switch to Android. Focus mode. What is it? Focus mode is a tool for eliminating distractions. It's similar to, but not the same as, Do Not Disturb. But it's very easy to set up. Let me show you how that's done. Start by selecting Settings. Once that's opened, scroll down until you see Digital, Well-being, and Parental Controls, and select it. Once that opens up, go down to Focus Mode and select it. And in here, you can select all the distracting apps. Your clock, my Wise Beta app, Google, and, well, there are 153 other apps. And you can hit the down arrow and you can see all of those and then individually select which of these apps are disturbing your focus and tell them to shut up. Plain and simple. Right now, because I'm doing lots of work with Wise Beta, I'm getting quite a few messages from Beta, and I'm busy doing something else. I don't want to see those interruptions. So for right now, I'm going to select Wise Beta, and I'm going to select Turn On Now. You can also select Focus Mode on a schedule, which of course is not something I'm going to be doing right now. Focus Mode is now on, and distracting apps are not going to be bothering me. So now I can go ahead and do my work, and when I'm ready to be interrupted again, I don't need to focus. At that point, I'll simply turn it off, and at that time, the app will again notify me when it's scheduled to send me a notice. That's how easy it is to set up Focus Mode and for you to actually be able to concentrate on something without interruptions. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps.
Well, thanks, Bob. That's good. I'm going to try that. I'm certainly those annoying notifications. That's really good. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for doing that. That's very interesting. All right. I have a little Google Photos tip I want to show everyone, and let's see how this works out. Good day, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Did you know you can now access screenshots on Google Photos via the home screen? Yes, Google Photos has a new shortcut that allows users to access screenshots directly from the home screen. The app's latest version on Android now lets users open the screenshot folder directly from their phone's home screen. The new update is part of Google's efforts to make the app much easier to navigate than it has in the earlier days. Now, as someone who makes a lot of videos, I use screenshots on my Android phone all the time. And I transfer them over to my PC where I do incorporate them into my video editing software. So it is really important that this occurs quickly and easily. This new feature is a big time saver, and I want to show you how to do this on my Pixel 6 phone. It's running Android 12, and the version of Google Photos you'll need is 5.97. So let's have a look how this works, and I'm going to show you the new feature. So there are two ways to do a screen capture. In this demonstration, I'll be pushing the power button and the down button on the volume control. So it's power and volume down. And if you looked at the screen, you would have seen, there it is right there, the screen capture. So here we are. We're going to do a screenshot of my Ring doorbell app. Watch as I swipe up from the bottom to the top with the app, and that gives us an option of doing a screenshot without actually pushing a button. We're going to click screenshot, and there it does. It takes the screenshot, and we can do that without pressing any buttons. From there, of course, we can do all the usual things. We can edit it. If we click the edit button, then we can certainly change what we want as far as the area. We can bring the slider down here and this up. And now we can, of course, add text to it. Say this is a test. We can certainly we can email this by clicking the little share button, click email, and there we are. We're going to email it to my house. So we can either do a screenshot by pushing buttons or by swiping the app up, as I've just shown you. But once we find the screenshot, as I mentioned before, we can edit it. So in this particular situation, we can add a label to it, and we're going to call it "This is a test." This is a screenshot. And there we have it. We can either do a circle on this. We can circle it, put a note there to watch this, or we can actually color areas in. You'll see us coloring a blue color there, or we can indeed erase things. So once we have taken the screenshot, we have to find it. So we're going to look in Google Photos. We're going to open the Google Photos folder and select Google Photos. And we're going to click Google Photos and open it up and come down to the bottom right-hand corner where you'll see Library. Once we click Library, Folder, we're going to open that. We'll open the Ring screenshot, and here it is. Let's have a look. Now the new feature added makes it much easier to find your screenshots. Let me open Google Photos folder, and now watch, I'm going to long press on the Google Photos icon. I'm going to long press on it. It's going to open up another menu. If I click on Screenshot, this is going to take me right to my screenshots. Pretty cool, eh? There it is, our front door Ring doorbell screenshot. Let's go back. It even gets better. What we're going to do now is I'm going to open the same folder, and I'm going to long press Google Photos, and it's going to create a widget. And then we're going to go to Screenshot and long press it. Now if you look behind my finger there, you'll see there's a little icon I'm dragging along, and I'm going to drop it right on top of my Google Photos folder. Now let's have a look and see what happens. Now we have a screenshot widget. So I don't even have to, I can just click on this and it will take me right to these screenshots. I don't have to open Google Photos. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at one more time. We're going to bring it up, and here is the screenshot widget. I just, here it is right here. I come down and I can open this up, and it will take me right to the screenshots. All right, a handy new feature in Google Photos. I would certainly recommend you, if you are using screenshots, you're using them on a regular basis. That's a really fast way now to find them. All right, let's move on now to Mike's presentation. I'm just going to share the screen and let's see what Mike has to say about solar energy.
Hi, I'm Mike Ungerman of the Central Florida Computer Society. In parts 1 and 2 of this series, we looked at the basics of what constitutes a solar voltaic system and how to research your home's present energy efficiency. In this third presentation, we'll investigate the potential for a solar voltaic system to provide solar energy for your home. This is a slide we've seen in previous presentations. The focus now is on the actual production of solar energy on your own property, which influences all of the other benefits of owning a solar PV system. It sometimes helps to see the big picture as we delve into the details of getting to our end goals. To that end, this short video is a good overview of what is involved in installing a complete solar PV system on an individual home. So before one makes the big step of acquiring that expensive solar PV system we just saw, you should have a good idea how well that system will perform for your home. How much of the sun's energy is actually available to the surface or surfaces that you will install the system on, and what tools are available to help you make this assessment. Listed on this slide are 2 of many free tools that can start your investigation on the potential for producing solar energy. They can help you figure out where to place your solar panels, how many panels will be required, and the potential cost for the complete system based on what you have calculated. Let's take a look at each of these in turn. First off is Google's Project Sunroof. Project Sunroof will let you search for your home, personalize your solar analysis, compare finance options, and provide a customized savings estimate. They also have the ability to do an area-wide solar potential search. So let's take a look at my address. Here in Florida. And it's already previously done a search. This is my home. We zoom in. It's not showing the solar system that's already on there, which you see behind me on this screen. So it's basically doing a calculation of where the sun is and what the potential is for sunlight per year, how many square feet are available for solar panels. I've actually installed 2 phases of solar energy, one on the south facing roof, which you can see is in the bright yellow, and one set of panels, which is on the eastern facing roof, which gets the morning sun and into the early afternoon. They're telling me that or they're saying, what's your average monthly electric bill? So if I start off with what it was way back when, around 400, you can see they're telling me that I really should have about 26.3 kilowatts worth of solar panels. And it gives you the environmental impact savings, tells me if I purchase something like this up front, based on average prices, it'd be about $58,000. If, on the other hand, I take a look at what my current bill is, let's see if I can get it down. Let's just say $100. If I wish to completely offset that remaining $100 on my bill that we discussed in our last presentation, I could do about 6.3 kilowatts of additional solar. And if I were to do that, I'd probably pick this south-facing roof and this west-facing roof for the afternoon. The PV watts calculator can give you an energy production cost of energy grid, allows you to take a look at estimates and the performance of potential PV installations. Again, I've put my address in. We get a map that basically says this area is where my home is located. We can zoom in on it. And this is the data that they have the National Solar Radiation Database information on. And let's take that 6 kilowatt addition. If I were going to put that on there, let's just say 7 kilowatts. And roof mounted. And I'm going to take an average of 135 degrees, which is southeast. And let's see, okay, I could draw the system, but I'm just going to go ahead and do the search. So they're going to tell me that with this additional, I'm going to save another 10,092 kilowatt hours per year. It's telling me which months I'm going to get the best solar production. You can see pretty much in the May area, March, April, May, generally, and that's my experience based on how open the skies are. So they're basically going through and showing you the additional information. So this is just a good site to take a look at to get an idea of what your overall wattage can do for you. One item that I don't have annotated on the slides is the solar federal tax credit, which is available from the energy.gov website. And the solar energy tax credit is available for 26% tax credit for systems installed in 2020 through 2022, which would be this year, and then 22% for next year. And it expires starting in 2024 unless Congress renews it, and the chances are that it will be extended, but it's something that if you're going to make the decision, you may want to take advantage at the present time. So now if you're pretty sure you want to go the solar PV route for your home, you've seen some of the tools that help you along your way. Many more resources are available on the internet, including websites and YouTube videos. We've seen a couple of those today. One note of caution, though, some of the sites you might have the ulterior motivation of having you make a commitment to a particular solar installer or link you to a service that provides your information to solar installers who will start calling you or emailing you. So due diligence is recommended. And so our next presentation in this series will address just that issue, how to purchase your solar.
Thank you, Mike. That was great. Good. We look forward to more information. This is wetting our whistle and getting us all excited. So thanks a lot for doing that.
I'll stick around if anybody has any questions during the.
Yes, of course. Steve, if you want to hold your question until the Q&A, then we'll, I'm sure Mike will be sticking around to answer your questions. So it's a good topic. Thank you for doing it. Hewie, before we get to Bob's flip the silence, we are waiting to find out about Windows 10 and 11 accessing special symbols. Do you want to tell us what's that all about?
Yeah, let me get to the right place here to find the video, and let's go. Windows 10 and 11 access special symbols quickly. I'm Hewie Poplock. How do you put those fun little icons in your text when typing in Windows? Recently, I did an article on using ASCII characters. To insert an ASCII character, press and hold down the Alt key while typing this character code. For example, to insert a degree symbol, you press and hold down the Alt while typing 0176 on the numeric keypad. You must use the numeric keypad to type the numbers and not the keyboard. Make sure that the numlock key is on if your keyboard requires it to type the numbers on the numeric keypad. Here are some of the symbols. To get the copyright symbol, it's Alt plus the 0169. The cents is Alt 0162. For the degree, it could be Alt 0176 or Alt 0186. There is another way in which you can do that, and that's going to the Windows tools in your menu and then going to character map. When you open up the character map, you will get this. You can choose which symbol you want, highlight it, you hit the select button, it copies it, and then you can paste it into your document. But we live in an emoji world now. So how do you put those fun little icons in your text when typing in Windows? The pop-up keyboard. It's typically meant for use when in tablet mode, but it's easy to access even when you're using Windows 10 or 11 with a regular keyboard. In Windows 10, you right-click the taskbar in a blank area and select Show Touch Keyboard button. An icon of a little keyboard will appear next to the clock in the taskbar. You tap at any time with the mouse cursor to bring up the on-screen keyboard. Tap any key on your keyboard to dismiss it from the screen. Click the extra keyboard icon on the top left to access various layout options, including a split keyboard and a stylus pad. For Windows 11 users, right-click the taskbar to access taskbar settings. Toggle on the touch keyboard to get a permanent keyboard icon in the system tray. So let's do it. The touch keyboard is normally used with a tablet or touch screen, but if you have neither, you can still use that touch keyboard. Let's set it up on my Windows 11 machine. First, what we're going to do is you right mouse click anywhere in a blank spot on the taskbar and you get taskbar settings. When you click that, you will get the settings for your taskbar. You want to know where it says touch keyboard. You want to turn that on. As soon as you do, you will see down in the tray a little keyboard. And that's what we're going to be using. So we've turned it on. If it's already there, then you don't have to turn it on, obviously. Before we examine the touch keyboard, let's look at a couple of examples of how to use it. Then you'll have a better idea as we examine the keyboard what you might do with it. So let's take a look. We're now in a Google Doc, and if I type the temp in Alaska is 57, and we want to say degrees Fahrenheit. So what we do is we come down to the touch keyboard, we click this little icon here, and then we find the icon for the symbols, and we find degrees Fahrenheit. Put that in, bingo, it's in our document. As soon as we hit a key on our keyboard, the touch keypad goes away. So we'll open it again, we'll come up here. This time we're going to add an emoji and saying, and let's put another emoji in there as well. We can look at many emojis. We can choose any one we want. And let's take this and this and this one. Click the space bar. That keyboard goes away. Now, the one thing that you can do is we can highlight all of this. It's a font of 12. Let's go ahead and make it 60. And it enlarges all of it. Now, besides your word processor, let's do something on Facebook. So we can say the temperature here is 87 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to come down here. Again, we're going to click on this. We're going to come here to the symbols and hit enter. We're on the next line and say this is, and we'll come down here again. Click, 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 and say it's copyrighted. One more. We'll say it's also registered. Spacebar, it goes away. It's put both of those in there. We tell it to post that it's there. Let's examine our keyboard a little more closely. And to do that, I opened up Notepad, and I have it set for a font of 48, so you'll be able to see what I'm typing. So let's open up the keyboard, and we can use it as a keyboard. So I could type in it's much slower than using your fingers. You still can do it, so you don't have to leave the keyboard. Now, again, I mentioned you click this little button up here, and when you do, you get several choices. Let's take them one at a time. First, we can look at emojis. And it puts a good number of emojis up there, but you'll see you get smiley faces and animals. You get people. It's celebrations and other items, food, transportation, and hearts. But you can put other items here. I also added more emojis to give you some examples. Make sure that you understand that this is a full keyboard and use it as a keyboard. However, you're going to be clicking using your mouse. Unless it's a touch screen, then you can be using your fingers. I thank you for watching. Windows 10 and 11, access special symbols quickly. I'm Hewie Poplock. There you go.
Hey, I'm going to use that. That's great. That's really good. Thank you for doing that, Hewie. Now, Bob, are you ready to roll?
I am. It's always terrible that when you're in the middle of something important and your phone starts to ring. That's annoying, especially since there's an easy way to end those unexpected phone calls. Let me show you how that's done. What we're going to use is something called Flip to Silence, which is part of the Google Phone app. If you have a Pixel phone, that's standard. That is what you use, is the Google Phone app. And you can very easily set up Flip to Shh. It mutes calls and enables Do Not Disturb when the phone is face down. On non-Pixel phones, the feature is called Flip to Silence, but it only mutes incoming calls. I'm going to show you on a Pixel phone how to set this up. Start by opening up Phone by Google, which is this icon down here, and then click on the three-dot menu. Top right, select Settings, and then scroll down to something that's called Flip to Shh, all the way down at the bottom. Select it, so turn it on, and as it says here, to turn on Do Not Disturb, place your phone face down on a flat surface. You'll feel a subtle vibration when Do Not Disturb turns on. So the next time you're in a Zoom meeting, make sure your phone is easily accessible, and if it should ring, just place it upside down on a flat surface to end that phone call. No fumbling for buttons. Upside down on a flat surface turns that phone off. Just a quick, easy way to make sure your important functions are not interrupted by a phone call. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps.
It's a good one. That's great. I'm going to use that one too. That's so annoying when you get phone calls right in the middle of a Zoom meeting.
I got another tip that'll make Hewie's thing a little bit easier.
Oh, great. Well, we look forward to that. Thanks, Bob. Now, I want to talk today a little bit about superstars, and I have a personal superstar who I have made a little video about, and he's here today, and so hopefully everyone will enjoy this. Let's watch the video.
I thought you were going to turn off the YouTube.
No, I changed my mind. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Today I want to talk about a TikTok superstar right from our own staff here at Tech for Senior. Yes, a big superstar on TikTok. Let's find out who it is and how this occurred. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we make videos for seniors. If you want to be notified when a new video comes out, click the subscribe and that little bell, and we'll send you a notification when we make a new video. Let's talk about our TikTok superstar. Well, of course, all of you are going to say, congratulations, Ron, you did it. Well, I don't even have a TikTok account. You'd say, well, then Hewie did it, or Bob did it, or Ray did it, or Bill did it. But no, you'd all be wrong. Our TikTok superstar is Dewey Cluse. Yes, Dewey, of course, has always been my superstar. Superstars do lots of things, like as vice president of our club, congratulating our past president, Carol Foker, or taking one of the many courses offered by our club, or teaching courses at our club, or enjoying some oranges picked from my former house in Arizona. At 88 years old, Dewey thrilled us with his technology reports each week at Tech for Senior. A few months ago, he retired. I still get many comments on the videos that he produced over the past 2 years. And 2 weeks ago, I dropped Dewey a note and said, hey, this is a great comment that we got on this video you made. He said, well, you might think I've been just sitting on my you-know-what, not doing very much, but I'm now a TikTok superstar. I said, what? And he said, yep, and I'm going to play you the video in a minute that propelled him to stardom. So Dewey and Joanne have been married for many years, and are inseparable. What you'll see in this video is their home in Golden Valley, Minnesota. You'll see their house, and Joanne has to go on a trip, and she must leave Dewey for a few days and take an airplane trip to another location. So the video is of Joanne saying goodbye to Dewey. Now what's happened here is you'll see Dewey is standing in the front porch of their house. He's waving goodbye to Joanne. Joanne is actually in the car as it's backing out of the driveway, and Joanne is filming Dewey as he's waving goodbye, but someone is filming Joanne. And let's watch the video and see what happens.
I'm taking a picture of him. Troy, could you stop just a second? Just a second. Love you. Bye.
Well, you guys are acting like you've never been apart or something.
It's terrible. It's terrible, Troy. You're too cute.
All right. All right. Interesting video and sort of a heartwarming video, right? Folks, that's been viewed over 16.5 million times on TikTok. 16.5 million times. Let's look at it again.
I'm taking a picture of him. Troy, could you stop just a second? Just a second. Love you. Bye.
Well, you guys are acting like you've never been apart or something.
It's terrible. It's terrible, Troy. You're too cute.
So that's our TikTok superstar, Dewey Cluse. Well done, Dewey. We're waiting for your next adventure. Dewey Cluse, everyone's superstar. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Remember that little subscribe and bell. If you click that bell, and we'll notify you when we make a new video. Have a great day until we see you again. So,
I hope they monetized that video.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so welcome. I think Dewey's here. He's been watching with us, so thank you for I got his permission to do this before I did it, so it's a fun thing that we can do. Now, before we get to Ray's segment, I just want to say goodbye to all our friends over on YouTube. We have to say goodbye, and we'll be stopping the feed. If you want to pop over here, we still have lots of space for you. You can participate in the Q&A. Don't forget the premiere service. You'll certainly want to watch personal air conditioners, and we will. So goodbye. So I'm just going to sign off now. Ray, I think there's a couple of comments here. I'm going to let Bob and Dewey say something before we get on with your section. I think we've got